Alrighty, we're back. Let's see, we got 0 washers. Let me explain to you what I've done here first off before we get any farther. I built the battery box, which can be seen in the last video. I built the motor mount. I've put end grain balsa, glued epoxied that to the end grain balsa, and epoxied this end grain balsa to the doublers, which are 16th inch plywood. I then sanded this angle here to give the angle for the bottom of this. And I was going to do a bunch of molding and stuff, but this is a little Vector 40, so I don't want to get this thing too out of hand. So I'm just going to use 1/2 inch bottom sheeting on this. So it's going to be a little boxy, but that's the way it goes. And I went in my scrap bin and I found a 1-inch piece for the top nose block, which I'll cut a piece off to go like so. It'll go back to the trailing edge, or 18 inches. Cut this in half. And then I can sand the top block and put a turtleneck on it. So now in order to pick this up and get this basically going here, the nose ring gets mounted on here like so. I don't have a drive piece for electric. You know, I had a whole box of them things. I don't know what I did with them. I'm hoping that this is going to be thick enough here. I believe it will be, but I don't know. If not, I'll just add another piece onto this. Not a big problem. So Steve, if you're watching this and are going to come over tomorrow, make sure to bring drive washers for the electric motor so I can get the back plate in the right spot. So in order to make this thing straight and do this thing the easy way, I'm going to take this piece of, that's 3/8, piece of 1/2 inch here. We're going to draw a center line on it. Okay, center line. Remember, I don't want to make this any more complicated than I have to. So it is what it is. You know, I was going to put a molded piece on the bottom. I ain't going for that. Well, it would be too much for the little Vector 40. This is the nose. There's the guy. So I'll take this here, mark it 1.5 inches. Here, 1.5 inches. I really only have about a day's work left to go on this, maybe 2. Depends. If I stream it all, it'll take 3 or 4. If I just do the job, it'll take 2. Okay. So we're built. This is not glued in the back there. We're gonna do this on the fly here. This gets cut off or sanded right here because this is where the landing gear goes. I guess I could do it right to that. Do it right to this spot right here. Plywood floor for the landing gear goes on there. Not too much. It's all by eye. Everything's by eye. So we'll tack it right there. Tack it right there. And we'll come back here and get the tail post centered up. Yeah, I don't know where I want to. I don't know is if I want to exit that air out the tail post. I'll have to open, if I want to do that, I'll have to open this top, which I could do. And then it would flow over the top. I'd have to open the bottom too, which I can do. Except it would stop there at the landing gear. So that's not a good idea. That's not a valid solution. So I guess we're going to have air holes exit on the bottom of the cowl. Not a big deal. So we won't worry about the exit back there. So we'll come back here and tack this right like so. And tack this side like so. There we have the fuselage. We're jigging it right on the airplane, if that makes sense. So I need to tack it in the middle because we got to shape it and cut it off and hollow it out. Even though it's only ½ inch, it's still got to be hollowed. Why is that not straight? Is that board not straight? Board has a whoop in it. So I'll just pull it down and tack it. Okie dokie. Yeah, it's pretty damn straight. Okay. So now, in case it comes off, we need to mark this. Which I can cut it off and cut it again. Oop. I don't know if I can cut down through it with a knife with it glued to it or not. I might have to cut it off, and yeah, we'll just cut it off and cut it, glue it back on. Pop her off. Okay. Looks relatively close, close enough for government. Kind of a bow in it, so. Yeah, gotta make it easy on myself. Now, have you guys learned anything from this crash repair? Except I really can't consider it a crash repair. It's more like a complete rebuild. Yeah. I get it to come off. Nope. Nope. It ain't ready. Hard wood back here. There it is. So, okay, this thing's heavy. I ain't putting my good wood in this thing. We'll use these for the triangles up here. So we need half by half. Half by half. I'll do that when I cut that block off so I can sand it square. Okay. Okay, I will carve this piece into a triangular block like so. There's a lot of torque on these electric motors. I mean, they can rip the motor mount right out of the airplane in a heartbeat if it is not mounted in good. All that weight, swinging prop and all that. So I would say if you're going to engineer it, over-engineer it so that it don't come flying out of there. So here we have a triangular block or thereabouts. And this will get glued into that. Sanded, it's got an angle on it. Glued up against the doubler and up against the motor mount. So that piece of G20 or whatever the hell they call it, it's going to be locked in there so it can't move. Plenty of epoxy in there too. And then take out the rest, whatever. Okay, so let's get back to work on the doublers or the bulkheads for this thing. And I want to cut this off where it belongs. We'll use this saw right here. The saw blade ain't deep enough. I need to bring in my back saw. Hope I got it right. Yep. Okay, good. Okay, good. I want that flush with that. Okay, this gets glued back onto this. Oop, that's not right. There. This gets glued back up there. There we go. That's better. So just tack it on there. Then I'll be able to shape it and hollow it all in one setting. You guys don't seem to be chatting as much. You guys getting bored with this stuff? think we're going to put a stringer on this too. Ooh, right, there we go. That's better. I need to find which turtle deck mold fits the best that I got. I ain't making a mold for it. Modify an existing one I got. This still needs to come back off, so don't glue it on all the way yet. Pretty good, pretty good. So the landing gear, we're going to put in two sets of holes so that you can have either grass or pavement. I'm going to take 4 blind nuts. It'll be fine. I made it quite large. I didn't realize it was needs to be less. So I will add a piece there. And go right there. What was I thinking? I don't have any more. Well, I got this half here. We can cut a piece and go across that way. That'll work. It's only an arc. So let's make some bulkheads. But first, I need my turtle deck mold. At the bottom. At the bottom. And there's the top. Where's the top? Be this one. He thinks it's going to be this one. Yep, that's the one right there. So I need to mark this. So we got one at the, except we're going to move this up a half an inch. Forgot he's getting a lighter motor. So I'll move it up a half an inch. This You want to do that? It'll show through the monopube. Okay. So the first bulkhead, where's that? There's that square. First bulkhead's going to go right here. Actually, the last one, right there. Okay. That one lines up with this one. And this one So we need a line on that one. I need a line right there too. You see how easy this stuff is if you think it out? I mean, it's really simple stuff. And I can see it. $1.25 a dozen pens don't work very good. Okay. So we got one there. We're going to have one here. However, let's see, how far is that? It can be no more than 18 inches. So 18 inches is where it's going to be, right there. You ask why 18 inches? Well, our wood's in 36-inch long pieces. If I cut it 18 inches long for the nose block, I'll get 2 nose blocks out of one 36-inch piece. So our next bulkhead needs to be right there. So it's a little bit different, but that's because this is not a purpose-built mold. It's something I already had made up. So that goes right there. I'll have to mold this tomorrow, but we'll get this laid out today. And this one goes right here. I need to mark it on the other side. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let me knock the bench. I got too much crap on this bench. I'm not sure whether Steve's coming over or not tomorrow. Did you guys enjoy the Friday with or the Saturday with John? Not Saturday at John's, but second best thing. Maybe we can get Dan on tomorrow, depending on what he's doing. Get out of the chair, Danny, into the garage. Is the chat box working? Am I on or what? I mean, I got no chat. I ain't gonna keep doing this if nobody's gonna participate. I need to get some eighths, I guess. It's 3/32. That's 8. We can get rid of that. Come on now. We need some wood. Come on. Didn't want to use that rock wood, but I guess I can. Too hard to cut. Yep, I guess we're gonna. Here we go. Yeah, this is not enough. Shit. Get a stick out of this pile there, I guess. 16th, 8th. There it is, right there. Damn, it ain't wide enough. Son of a bitch. And all this lumber, eyeball shapes. Guess we can use this. 3/32. There we go. Sound is good. Like everything is fine. Like the morning format. Like given. Thanks. Keep it up. What does it take to make me a custom Viper? I'd rather just sell you one I already got built. But if you want me to frame one up, just frame it up and not cover it, it's $1,000. And that's cheap. A lot of work goes into them. That's been my pretty standard rate for many years. Well, you could swing by the gnats. I'll have it ready for the gnats. My house is on the way to the gnats from your place. You know what? I swiped it too many times. Shit. Once too many. I think I'm going to put stringers in this too. Yeah, I have no way to get it to you. Because I'll guarantee you ship it, it'll be broke. Especially without covering on it. They're pretty fragile in that state. Break a rib pretty damn easy. You damn thing. Too big, too small. There we go. There it is. There it is. Okay, let's pin it. I gotta pin it so I can get the top measurement on the next one. Okay. You guys see how I'm orienting the grain? Never put the grain straight up and down this way. That gives you crush strength this way. We're looking for crush strength side to side, so So you want to put the grain in side to side. Just like that front nose block that I did for the motor mount, that's end grain. Sure would have been easy to put it in long grain, but easy isn't always the best. So it's perfect flying weather out there right now. There's about 3 inches of snow on the ground, 2 inches. So tomorrow's going to be another build day. I don't know what time I'll come on, but I'm going to try to wrap this thing up. Get it mostly done. Get the fuselage or the top block molded. Yeah, we're going to put stringers in this thing just because I can. Now you wonder, why did I get my mold buck before I set these bulkheads into this fuselage? Because I want these are already cut. I can drop the wood into that and sand them to fit, and that's where they go on this skin. And I want them to match these bulkheads so that it acts like an egg. Because an egg is the strongest thing in nature. So it has real high crush this way. And the grain on those bulkheads will be standing up this way. So you got grain running this way and grain running that way. And then of course on the bottom it'll be just carved into the block. So I need to do what here? I need a piece for here. Now this particular one, it goes this way. What am I thinking? This gets cut out quite a bit because the push rod has to pass. But usually what I end up doing is putting a top on it. But I start out with one so I can, this fuselage has to be, I was going to paint this fuselage, but the more I think about it, I don't want to get involved. You know, I just did this job as basically a favor, didn't hardly charge them anything. I don't want to get involved in painting, because painting would be a 2-week process all by itself. I'm just going to figure out how to monocoat it and do the best I can. I tell you what, Denny sure did a nice job on the airplane that he showed on Stunhanger. That thing pretty. And I know that's Monaco. He don't paint. Oh, crap. I could be windy and put one in between. I mean, there's no need for it. 3 is plenty. Don't need all that lumber. Okay, so now I need my, there it is, I see it. I need this. So I can whack these off. And we need a tail post. We'll glue that in too. What the hell is this thing on here? Better. Yeah. Now another way that tops were done like this, and I saw Wendy do it, and I've seen other people do it, and it really is a good way to do things. Is they take a piece of 1/8 inch or 16th inch or whatever, and they mark the inside of their fuselage uh, profile, and they glue that inset into this, and then set the bulkheads on top of this. Then they take a Dremel and then hollow out all that material there. And what that does is it locks the fuselage up. It's a good way to do things. I don't go into that much. I just normally do it like this and make sure that my top, uh, skin meets this and the bulkheads meet the top bulkhead and the center bulkhead all glued together. And it's plenty. I mean, all this stuff can be overbuilt. I can go crazy with I could put a lot of wood in this if I wanted to, but the trick is to make it. I just tacked it. The trick is to make it as strong as you can with the least amount of lumber. So right there. Yeah, that is just tacked. Every block is just tacked on because I've got to shape it, cut it off, and hollow it out. If you ain't hollowing blocks, you end up with heavy stuff. It doesn't matter whether you get a gram out of it or whatever. You got to get it all out. Every bit you can. You still got to cut that piece. Here we go. There it is right here. That tail post is glued in. Not just pinned, it's glued. Shit. Crooked. Just sand it. Close enough. I need to take these out, center them up, pull them up. This thing's already getting heavy, but it's straight. That's all that counts. It's straight. We need to open this up too. I got that ass backwards, so we'll go right there. Remember, I moved the stab a ½ inch farther forward because he's getting a lighter battery. And it's a bigger stab, so I don't want to make it tail heavy. There we go. There's another thing. Always make your stab glue onto this bulkhead. Man, just about like I knew what I was doing. That's great. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this evening. We've been on for an hour, and I really need to find a motor, a prop mount, so that I can get this nose ring spaced correctly. If I have to add a little piece, that's fine. If I don't, that's fine too. It looks to me like the nose of this is not going to look like my normal nose. It's going to look like an arc vector. It's going to really dive down right here, because if I sand a taper in it like I normally sand on my IC airplanes, there'll be a big hole right here. Even though I'm going to put this motor mount material here, because that hole will start from way back there in order to make it super streamlined. Just the way that this vector is, laid out, how it's designed. It should be a good stout motor mount system. It's got about 2 degrees out thrust on the thing, so it'll have good line tension. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. You guys got any questions at all? That's what I'm here for. Answer the stupid questions. Well, it sure makes a difference when you use light wood as opposed to 6-pound wood. Let's see what this weighs. Of course, nothing's hollowed, but it's still pretty juice heavy. It weighs 6.7 ounces. So it's going to be an 8-ounce fuselage. That's well, of course it'll be a 7-ounce fuselage when I'm done. 2 ounces over what a good light one weighs. But we'll have to do with what we have to do. Has to be that way. All right, everybody, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe. Fair winds, tight lines.